Hey everyone, today we are making Danish. That's right. I tried to make croissants, did not work out, I totally failed. And so I had all this leftover dough and I thought, that's kind of like puff pastry, right? Same thing? Sort of? So here we are. We're doing our best. We're making it work. I took this dough straight out of the fridge. It's nice and chilled. You definitely want to keep puff pastry like this cold at all times if possible, so that the butter doesn't get too soft or melt out. And definitely use store-bought puff pastry for Danishes. It's definitely going to turn out a lot better. And then when you take puff pastry out of the fridge, you want to press down on it like this. And that's to make sure that the butter is nice and malleable before you go ahead and start rolling. Because those layers of butter and dough are super fragile. If you aren't super gentle, then they might get ruined and you won't have as puffy a pastry. And my dough was kind of springing back a little bit, so I'm just wrapping it up. Gonna put it back in the fridge for about 30 minutes to let those glutens relax. And then we're back to rolling. I rolled my pastry out pretty thin, and I ended up with an 18-inch by 9-inch rectangle. And then I just cut the edges off, making a perfect rectangle, which I'm gonna divide into 12 squares. I just divided the long end by 4 and the short end by 3, so I ended up with 12 perfect squares. Now onto the filling. I decided to make a spinach feta filling with caramelized onions, so I'm just dicing half of this onion up. And then I've got just a little bit of oil in a pan over medium heat, and I'm just going to drop my onions in and cook them until they're nice and golden brown. And then once I've added my spinach, I just keep it moving and let it cook for about 1 or 2 minutes until it's just wilted a little bit. Now I'm just crumbling in a little bit of feta. Now it's time to make the egg wash. We're just going to take 1 egg, whisk it up until it's smooth, and then paint that over our pastries when they're ready to be baked. the fun part. I'm just shaping these danishes, and I started with this braid design, which I definitely flew too close to the sun on this one. This one was too hard. I definitely should have started out with an easier design. You have to cut these slashes on either side, leaving a gap for the filling to go in, and each of these strips gets folded over the filling, alternating side to side, so you get this braided effect. What you want to do is bring the strip all the way over the filling to the other side of the pastry and squish it down. I didn't do that. I pulled them into the middle and tried to make them meet in the middle, and that did not work. They just opened up in the oven. So if you try to do this braided design, make sure you bring the strip all the way over to the other side of the pastry and squish it down really good so it doesn't open up on you. But I didn't do that. I just slapped some egg wash on top and put it in the oven without a care in the world. They still tasted great, so it's all good. Now moving on to my favorite pattern, the flower pattern. You just cut out each of the 4 corners. Make sure you leave a little bit of space between the cuts on each side of the square. Now take the corners, bring them into the middle, and push them down really good. And then we're gonna drop our filling right there in the center, and this one's done. And now we're moving on to the simplest design by far, just the plain old pinwheel. You know it, you love it, it's the most basic of Danish shapes. All you have to do is cut from the center to the corners, each corner all the way around, making sure that you leave that little gap in the very center. And then now just take one corner on each of these triangle segments, bring it right into the center and press down really well. And here you've got a nice little pinwheel. Just egg wash that baby real quick. And for danishes, you can really use whatever filling you want. I had this nice triple berry jam in the fridge, and I just used that. You can use whatever jam or jelly or cream cheese or whatever you have just lying around. That's like the beauty of danishes, that you can just get some store-bought pastry dough and just put whatever you want in there and be really creative with it. Also, make sure you flour your surface before you shape your danishes. That'll help a lot in getting it up off the table. So here we are on the last design. This one's sort of a diamond shape. You just fold up the bottom corner to the top corner, so you make a triangle, and then cut 2 of the sides, leaving a gap at the top corner. Make sure those bottom 2 corners are cut out completely, and then unfold it, lay it flat, and then put your filling right in the middle. And then you want to take the outer corner of your right side, press it into the inner corner of the left side, and then repeat with the left outer corner onto the right inner corner. And then you've got this nice like star diamond thing. And then once these little guys are egg washed, they are ready for the oven. I baked mine at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes just to get them really crispy. And then I turned the heat down to 325 for the last 10 minutes just to bake them all the way through. Here they are. A little malformed, but they're here. They're still cute. I had a lot of fun making these. I definitely recommend this as like a cute little weekend project. Just go for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Gluten